Welcome, warriors. It's me, Linda B. Thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight. We got a lot to cover. We have a lot to cover. Welcome, everyone. Michael, Iron Ear, June, Stanley. You guys are my faithful warriors. I really appreciate you. I am going to go ahead and just remind you guys about the actual video that I posted today. It posted at 4 p.m. with the pastor talking. It's got the thumbnail with Donald Trump with the check mark and the pastor from Nigeria, originally from Nigeria on it. I need you guys to check that out. And also, we just got a lot to cover today. Father God, we thank you so much for this opportunity to be here, to, Father, just be in your presence. And we thank you for being awesome. You're the only one that deserves the title of awesome, Father. And we thank you for forgiving us and having grace and mercy. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Short and sweet prayer. Don't forget to like this video, smash the like button, comment, share, all the things. And we're going to go ahead and get into it. I wanted to first actually start off with all the chaos that's going on with the decision from the Daniel Penny case. Guys, check it out.
Who's outside the courthouse to find out how this has played out. Now, I hear an immediate melee of protesters, CB.
Hi, Harris. That's right. Protesters are pretty upset. There's a large crowd of them out here next to me. You can hear them rattling the police barricades, saying no justice, no peace. And what they're yelling now follows a series of threats that they hurled earlier as the defense walked in with their client, Daniel Penny, telling the defense team that Daniel Penny can have no peace here in New York if he's found not guilty on this lesser charge, criminally negligent homicide. And from what I can hear right now, they're repeating those threats. They are very angry. Harris, I also want to mention there were a couple people here this morning to support Daniel Penny, but the anti-Penny crowd far outweighs them, and they seem pretty upset. We're seeing police officers come out here in droves to try to keep the two groups separated for now. But I'm looking at our notes from the courtroom, and it seems like this is the first time we've seen some real emotion from Daniel Penny. His attorneys told me this morning that this trial has understandably taken a toll on him. He's been spending time with family and friends to try to stay calm. And our courtroom reporter telling me for the first time she sees him visibly smile, now hearing that jurors have decided he is not guilty of criminally negligent homicide.
No justice, no peace, as they scream and yell. You know, those Democrats and you know, the media is led by, anyway, I don't want to get off topic, but the thing is, and just in case you guys are not aware of what's going on, we're talking about the Daniel Penny case. Daniel Penny was the man, the Marine veteran, 26-year-old, who was on a New York City subway train, and a man by the name of Jordan Neely, who was homeless, drug addicted on fentanyl, and mentally unstable. He had schizophrenia, and he was threatening, the man that was homeless was threatening the passengers of the subway train, threatening to unalive them, threatening to, I think, maybe unalive himself, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But he threw down his jacket and he was really harassing the people on the train. And he had a long rap sheet with 42 incidences. He had been arrested before for disturbing the peace and other things, like a litany of things, whatever you can think of, just about beyond murder and rape. But he has a history of doing this. And so Daniel Penny, to keep this man from harming anyone, he said he was going to unalive someone. So he grabbed the man in a chokehold, and after he released the chokehold, the man was still alive. He was still breathing. I have footage of where I did another video, and it showed that the police officers were like, we have a pulse. We have a pulse. Yeah, he's breathing. And it looked like it took them a while, according to my viewpoint. It looked like it took them too long to administer aid to him, and then eventually the man died. Now, it is uncertain if it was drugs or the chokehold or whatever it was, and we're supposed to be in our judicial system. We're in America. We are innocent until proven guilty. So it has to be beyond a shadow of a doubt. There was just too much doubt, because even I find myself following the case, I was thinking to myself, it's hard to determine whether he was negligent or just It was too much doubt. So they had, in my opinion, they came up with the right verdict. You guys tell me what you think in the chat, because if you got somebody, to me, he was self-defense of other people, defending them and himself from this person who unfortunately was not mentally well, on drugs. He was homeless. He had a lot of issues and other incidences with the law, whereas Daniel Penny has no incidences with the law. So we got to look at things. We only can go by the information and that we're given. And unfortunately, this has erupted into protest. No justice, no peace. There you go, BLM. I got to come up with another acronym for them, because by large mansions and Black Lives Matter is not going to cut it. I gotta find something else to call BLM, because they have gotten on my last nerves. And what's probably going to happen is that these people that are upset about the verdict are going to go out into their neighborhoods and destroy their own neighborhoods, which absolutely makes no sense. And this is what Democrats do. This is what they do. They love chaos. They love it. They live and breathe off of it. So I wanted to show you guys that, as well as some other footage, because look at what's happening. I mean, this is Democrats love chaos. Those demons love chaos.
Wait, hold on.
And just so you know what I'm looking at, this is in response. These are the protesters outside the New York City courthouse getting arrested as they go berserk in response to the Penny verdict of not guilty. It doesn't make sense to do this, guys.
Come around.
Scared to get on my nerves because they're about causing chaos. That's what
He was hungry! He was killed for being poor! No justice! Shame on you! No justice! No peace!
Where do these people get their news from? Because she's saying he was unalived for being poor, and I did hear that narrative, but then they listened to the people that were actually on the train, who said, one woman said, he was threatening to kill, get rid of people and all this kind of stuff. I mean, where is this coming from? I'm sorry, liberalism is a mental disorder. Sorry, not sorry. It's a mental disorder.
This is fucking sick. They don't give a goddamn about us.
Ooh, I ain't know he was gonna say all them words, y'all. Woo, I'm so sorry. People just say what they say these days. They just say it. I am so sorry about that. But I wanted to show you some other clips as well. BLM riots, call for riots over Daniel Penny manslaughter charge being dismissed. So this was from a few days ago. Friday, the jury was deadlocked. They were deadlocked because they could not agree unanimously on the manslaughter. So then they were deliberating today over a lesser charge of negligent homicide. And then they just acquitted him. And, these are, people right here outside the courtroom, and they're just screaming profanities. And this man, I just feel like he's been through a lot. Daniel Penny, he's 26 years old. These people, this is probably what it's going to end up looking like if you're looking at my screen right now. And these are his parents, I think, in here, but I want to go to the longer clip. Here we go. I just
BLM
full news right here. And right here, Jordan Neely's supporter says Neely was unalived for simply asking for food after Daniel Penny was found not guilty. Neely demanded that passengers give him ginger ale as he threatened to start unaliving people on the subway. BLM is currently threatening to burn down New York City, according to Fox News. BLM, and this is allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly here, okay? BLM had threatened to burn down parts of the city, Fox News reports. So I'm going to let you listen to this, and it looks like, I believe that lady where my cursor is a BLM activist. I believe the man with the cap on is Jordan Neely's father, and I'm not sure who the man here in the suit is. So we're just going to take a look.
BLM had threatened to burn down parts of the city, cars, whatnot. Let's watch. They're angry over Daniel Pitty being found not guilty.
To do it for us. And clearly, if we get to this point, it's too late. We have to be there for each other, and that's our call to action. Everybody that's pissed off at this verdict, I challenge you to go outside today and help one person. Right on. That's my challenge. If you're angry, if you're hurt, go help one person. That's how we beat the system. That's how we turn this around, by being there for each other.
Wow, you just hear it in the background.
I just want to say, I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. System is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
And I just got to say, as you hear the noise in the background, people saying no justice, no peace, they're angry about it. But there was another case, and I am going to also show you this because, you know, BLM has selective outrage. I repeat, BLM has selective outrage because they pick and choose what to be upset about. Black people have been killing, well, unaliving each other for decades, and no one says a doggone thing. No one says anything. Okay, and I'm going to show you this other information that I found out about this other situation, and they want to say the system is rigged, that, you know, and I'm not saying we don't have problems in our judicial system. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that, but I want to share with you this other situation that came up as well. And hopefully you guys can see this. But here, and this is on NBC News, Jordan Williams, this is a 20-year-old man who was accused of fatally stabbing a New York City subway rider, will avoid prosecution, city officials said Wednesday. A grand jury declined to indict Williams on manslaughter and weapons charges in connection with the deadly stabbing of DeVictor Quadrago, who is 36, on a Brooklyn J train on June 13th. Quadro, I hope I'm saying that, or Drago, I'm sorry, was alleged to have punched Williams's girlfriend and harassed other passengers. Our office conducted an impartial and thorough investigation of this tragic case, which included review of multiple videos and interviews with all available witnesses, and that evidence was fairly presented to a grand jury. The Brooklyn District Attorney's Office said in a statement today, the charges against Jordan Williams have been dismissed. Williams's attorney, Jason Goldman, has said his client had acted in self-defense. The grand jury appeared to agree. Under New York law, a person is justified in using deadly physical force when they reasonably believe it is necessary to use such force to defend themselves or others from imminent use of deadly or unlawful physical force, the DA's office said in its statement. Okay, y'all heard me now. I'm just going to say it one more time. The grand jury appeared to agree. Under New York law, and this is a quote, under New York law, a person is justified in using deadly physical force when they reasonably is the key word in there, believe it is necessary to use such force to defend themselves or others from imminent use of deadly or unlawful physical force. Sometimes it doesn't have to be deadly. It can just be unlawful physical force, the DA's office said in a statement. Okay, so how does that seems to fit in with the Daniel Pitty situation? Okay, you know, and this is, oh man. See, these demons out here doing the most. This other situation, they're going to say, what do they have to say about that? You know what I mean? So you can't say that this man went on that subway train to looking for somebody to take out. I don't believe that was the case with Daniel Penny. Of course, we do not know what was in his heart and in his mind, but it was clear that the passengers on that train were being harassed. And I'm just, thrown back by this. I mean, it seems like we've had a little piece from this kind of chaotic BLM stuff, but now it looks like it's rising up again, and they're going to try to do everything they can to try in some kind of way say it's all because of Trump. I'm like, you can't blame everything on one person. It's really the media perpetrating it and pushing that narrative, because they really, when they say it, they really publicize the ones where the victim is Black and the person who the other person was white. Those are the ones that they push and push and push. It gets BLM all mad, even though BLM says nothing about all the Black babies being aborted, but yet they say Black Lives Matter. BLM says nothing about Black on Black crime, but yet they say Black Lives Matter. These people, in my opinion, are just race baiters. They're like Al Sharptons in mass. Yeah, that's what I thought. And so it's just hard to say, yeah, there was also someone else helping. So it's like, this is going to discourage people from wanting to help. You know what I mean? Because so Daniel Penny has been acquitted. He's free. But then we don't know what Jordan Neely's parents are going to do. I believe they said they were going to sue Daniel Penny. So that is like bothersome to me, because I'm like, I mean, I know there's child, but he had some, it's a very sensitive topic. I don't really want to talk about it, because I know people who've got mental issues. I know people who've got drug issues, and it's not the right thing to do to go after somebody who is clearly trying to protect other Black life. People need to stop looking at things. I think BLM is just here to cause racial chaos. I really do. I wonder, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying I wonder if the Democrats had something to do with organizing the BLM to go out there and cause chaos. And it's very selective, like I said. Nothing about Black on Black crime, nothing about drugs being poured into Black neighborhoods, nothing about the schools, nothing about aborted babies, Black babies, but it's all about when the victim is Black and the person who probably had to defend themselves, or whatever the case was, is white. Then that's when they have a fit and they start acting a fool, as we say in Georgia, acting a fool. Okay, so I'm just saying, the demons out here want us to be divided. I say we be united anyway. I don't care if the evil powers that be want us to be at each other. We will not do it. We will be one nation under God, and we're going to love God with everything we got and love each other as ourselves. Repent, turn from sin to the Lord, and pray constantly. That's just what I'm saying. And some of you saying that the father didn't help his son. And, some people are going to view this like the parents are looking for a payday. It's just, this world is just chaotic. It's going to take Jesus actually, it's going to take Jesus to fix all of this. It just really, really is. And all the chaos in the streets, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And I believe that, he was doing what he had to do to protect the other passengers. That's just what I believe. I mean, I really, really believe that. Somebody else can have their own differences of opinion. They're certainly, entitled to that opinion. They certainly are. But in my mind and how I see things, I see it differently, I suppose. Now, in other news, we have, the Meet the Press with Kristen Welker doing an interview with Donald Trump post-election. And yeah, he has some choice words for her now. Sorry, you guys. He has some choice words for her. And we're going to just look over this interview just a little bit. And you guys, I'm just got little pieces of it. And in this part is saying that All right, it's talking about, it's talking about the J6. Okay, so Kristen Welker puts on her very concerned face. This is Donald Trump about his words have weight. And when Trump says he won't order the DOJ or FBI to prosecute Liz Cheney and others, although he personally believes they should be in jail about what happened at the Capitol. Keep in mind that Joe Biden said Trump was a threat to democracy and should be locked up, but claims he has nothing to do with lawfare against Trump. And the media bought it completely. Insane double standard. So this is a piece about Liz Cheney.
And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole year and a half worth of testimony. Do you know that I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir.
And Cheney was behind it.
Well,
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee.
We're going to,
for what they did,
yeah.
Honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what they did.
Everyone on the committee, you think
I think everybody anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to
No,
jail?
not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
When you say that,
On
it carries
strengthening
weight, though. You know, you've tapped these people to lead the Justice Department and FBI.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
And see, Kristen Welker is a little bit easier to digest than others on MSNBC. I like to call them BSNBC. And that woman from CNN, Caitlin, I can't think of her name, is Caitlin somebody. She's the brunette. She bothers me so bad. She is horrible. Ooh, but Kristen Welker is a little bit easier to digest, but he has some choice words for her as well. So we see that Donald Trump believes that with them removing and deleting evidence, I mean, listen to how that sounds now. If you are certain of what you're saying against this man, Donald Trump, then why are you deleting evidence? Somebody want to respond to that question? Yeah, these people out here, the demons, I tell you, I just say demons. I just say demons. These people got devil in them. I'm just telling you, they got the devil in them. They just got the devil in them. And I'm just going to continue with little clips from, from this. And he's also going to be talking about minimum wage. So here's his talk about minimum wage right here.
There are 20 states that still have the federal minimum wage at $7.25. And I actually have a map. 19 of these states actually voted for you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it right here. I don't know if you remember this, but during the debate in 2020, I asked you if you would raise the minimum wage. You said you would consider it. And so my question for you is, now that you are going back to the White House, for these 19 states that voted for you, are you going to raise the federal minimum wage? It's a very low
number. I will agree. It's a very low number. Let me give you the downside, though. Yeah. In California, they raised it up to a very high number. And your restaurants are going out of business all over the place. The population is shrinking.
And I just want to say, too, in California, they raised the minimum wage for people who flip burgers and do the fries at McDonald's. They raised it to $30 an hour. Okay. And then the businesses had to close. He's going to talk about that. But that's the amount they raised it to in California. And it had a very negative impact.
It's had a very negative impact. But there is a level at which you could do it. Absolutely. Yeah.
What is that level?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I can say this. You have a lot of businesses that are open and thriving because of the lower minimum wage. If you raise it too much, and you understand this, if California went crazy, they went crazy. And the restaurants are closing all over. Many more people are hurt.
Mm-hmm. So I hear you saying, similarly to sort of what you said in 2020, will you consider, is this something you're going to look at?
I'd want to speak to the governors. And the other thing that's very complicated about minimum wages is places are so different. Mississippi and Alabama and great places are very different than New York or California. I mean, in terms of the cost of living and other things. So it would be nice to have just a minimum wage for the whole country, but it wouldn't work because you have places where it's very inexpensive to live, where a minimum wage, which is $8 or $9, might have very little effect because the cost of living in certain places is really low.
And I agree with what he just said. I really, really do, because if the cost of living is really, really low, like Alabama, small towns in Mississippi and Georgia is really low, and you can have a $9 or $7.25, you might be able to, it'll be a little bit tight, but you might be able to swing it. But you can't have that in New York and those urban areas in California. You can't live off of that. But then if you raise it too high, as they did in California, for a very low skill job, $30 an hour, that is literally too high of a minimum wage, and it had a negative impact. So people say things out of their heads, and why don't you want to help people? They're not looking at all of it, and they're so busy trying to trip Trump up, and that I don't even know if these people are aware of their own biases. But he did call out Kristen Welker, and she should have been called out on it. And I like it when he calls people out, because back in the day, I thought he was being very rude when he said fake news, and now I realize the man was telling the truth. And you got to think about it. When you know somebody is trying to trip you up and trying to hurt you and try to make you look like the bad guy, when all you're trying to do is really help, it is going to get on your nerves, and you might say something that sounds quote unquote rude, because you're sick and tired of the mess. We're human. We don't like BS. We don't like to be accused when we're innocent. He's just a person, with emotion. He's got, he's flesh and blood just like everybody else. We all bleed red. So who wants to be constantly targeted like that? And then they have the nerve to say, well, you say you're going to seek retribution, when the people went after him. They know that if the roles were reversed, I'm talking about reversed, and they were and Donald Trump was going after his political opponents using weaponizing the government, that they would definitely go back after him and seek retribution. But then they want to do their mess and don't want him to seek retribution. That is so insane to me. I'm just saying, because they are literally guilty of stuff. Okay, they're guilty allegedly of stuff. You all know what I'm talking about. But that's they expect the man to just sit there and just take it. Just take all the abuse and don't do anything about it. Are they insane? They just might be insane. I don't know. But I wanted to show you guys. Let's see. We talked about the minimum wage. We talked about that. We talked about Penny. We talked about, let's just talk about unity. There's unity involved. Donald Trump wants unity. He doesn't want the country to be divided. I know people are going to try and make it seem like he does want the country divided, but he does not. Okay, he actually does not.
Let me ask you, sir, as you think about your inauguration, I remember your first inaugural address, you talked about American carnage. Have you thought about your message for your second inaugural address?
I have.
Can you give us a preview?
We're going to have a message that will make you happy, unity. It's going to be a message of unity. And again, I think success brings unity. And I've experienced that. I've experienced it in my first term. As I said, we're going to be talking about unity. We're going to be talking about success, making our country safe, keeping people that shouldn't be in our country. We have to do that. I know it doesn't sound nice, but we have to do that. But basically, it's going to be about bringing our country together.
Yeah, it's about bringing the country together. I know they probably are trying to be like, dang it, I want him to say something that to incriminate himself. But it's just, having, these people are just not very fair, to be honest with you. They're just not very fair. They're just not. So I'm just going to show you guys. This part right here is the part that I really want to share with you guys, because Donald Trump kind of goes off on Kristen Welker just a bit now about her being biased. So take a watch.
Let me ask you about some of this new reporting. NBC News is reporting that President Biden is considering giving preemptive pardons to the likes of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Anthony Fauci. If President Biden doesn't issue those pardons, do you think they are going to wish that he had? Are they going to be pursued?
I can tell you this about Cheney, and she's a so-called Republican. I think she hurt the Democrats terribly. When I saw that Kamala put Cheney out on the campaign trail, I said, that's the end of Kamala. I really did. I thought it was a terrible move, especially if you're a Democrat. But Cheney did something that's inexcusable, along with Thompson and the people on the Unselect Committee of political thugs and creeps. So the Unselect Committee went through a year and a half of testimony. Wait. They deleted and destroyed all evidence of that they found. You know why? Because Nancy Pelosi was guilty. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 troops. You wouldn't have had a J6 because other people were guilty. The people that said that I attacked 2 Secret Service agents in a car. I grabbed one around the neck. I was then rebuffed, and I grabbed the other one. These are 2 of the toughest men anywhere on the planet. They happen to be slightly younger than me, maybe, you know, just a little bit. Let me just tell you.
Just a little bit.
They testified. They said it was total. And all of this stuff came out. People lied so badly. Now, listen, this was a committee, a big deal. They lied. And what did they do? They deleted and destroyed a whole year and a half worth of testimony. Do you know that I think those people committed a major crime.
Sir.
And Cheney was behind it.
Well,
and so was Benny Thompson and everybody on that committee.
We're going to.
For what they did.
Yeah.
Honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
For what they did.
Everyone on the committee, you think
I think everybody anybody that voted in favor.
Are you going to direct your FBI director and your attorney general to send them to jail?
No, not at all. I think that they'll have to look at that, but I'm going to focus on drill, baby, drill.
When you say that, it carries weight, though. You know, you've tapped these people to lead the Justice Department and FBI.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
Biden can give him a pardon if he wants to, and maybe he should. Just remember, unselect committee, a year and a half of sworn testimony, and after getting all of the testimony, they deleted it. Wait, and they destroyed almost everything. There's nothing left. It's unprecedented.
And they deny
doing that. If you do
that
in a civil case, you go to jail.
You know they deny doing that. And officials say that the order never came in for the National Guard.
But
on January 6th, let me ask you this about January 6th.
Benny Thompson wrote in a statement that he has destroyed all evidence.
Let me ask you this about January 6th.
I wish you could be you have such potential. If you could be just non-biased, you hurt yourself so badly. I'm telling you, they deleted and destroyed all the evidence. Everyone knows it. And you slough it off like it doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm just saying they deny it. That's all I'm saying.
Kristen, if I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me. They have done something so illegal. They have a committee sworn to, and because it was so bad, the only reason they did it is because the testimony turned out to be in favor of me. Like Secret Service testified and disputed everything. It made them into a bunch of liars. Not Secret Service, it made the people. They got rid of it because it made Nancy Pelosi, the mayor of DC, so many people look like criminals. And I will tell you, it's illegal for them to delete and to destroy that evidence.
It's illegal. Now, what's going to be done about that, warriors? You know, these people been getting away with too darn much. And I was looking at something, called Government Gangsters with Kash Patel. Ooh, you guys need to see that. I did a video on it on my Rumble channel. Kash Patel did something called Government Gangsters, and it is really, really good documentary. You should check it out on my Rumble channel. Chat with me, Linda B. Type it in as one word on Rumble. Also, I have a new show coming out. It's called The Linda B. Show. The Linda B. Show. It will be premiering, I'm going to say, Tuesday. Today is the 9th, right? So the 17th. I'm going to premiere it on the 17th, Tuesday, December 17th. And I will probably do it like at 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. or something like that. I'll do it probably at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I will do this show like 3 times a week, and it will not be political. It's not political at all. It is not political in nature. It is called The Linda B. Show. All right. We will talk about relationships, religion, culture, different things going out in the world, but not political. Just things outside of politics. And if politics is briefly mentioned, it will be nonpartisan. Okay, nonpartisan. And I want you guys to support me on the Linda B Show. And I will be reminding you of it as well. So I want you guys to really, really check me out there and support me on the Linda B Show. But woo, okay, now let's see. Okay. Oh, y'all don't have no mercy for Kristen. But she's a little bit better than the other ones because Caitlin Collins, that's what her name is on CNN. Caitlin Collins is the worst. Well, no, she's not the worst because then you got Joy Reid and Al Sharptongue, Joyless Reid. Oh, Cash Patel is a gangster too. I know, right? He's an honest one. I like people with some, grit in them. I don't like them passive and too, I want them to go, I do. I think those of us who are conservative, we want the people who to be tough, like, just like Donald Trump. He's like, you know what? You really have potential, but you just being, one time he told Caitlin Clark, he said, you just being nasty. Caitlin Collins, I'm sorry. You just being nasty. You a nasty person. When you get on his nerves real bad, he will say something. But people can't be perfect. He's doing all he can for the country. So every now and then, just get a man some grace when some mean, nasty, totally biased reporter is getting under his skin. Donald Trump is eventually going to say, you know what? If I was a Democrat, you wouldn't be treating me like this. He's going to eventually say something. And I let him get away with that because I'm like, that's all he does. I mean, that ain't no big deal to me. He's not sending people over to other countries to be unalived. He's not on some private server, communicating classified information on a non-secure server. You know who I'm talking about. He's, they trying to pin stuff on him, pin stuff. So if he's rude with a reporter every now and then, I get a man some grace because he's been through hell. What do you guys think? He's been through hell. I mean, you can't expect people to just go through all this stuff and they just be nice and angelic 100% of the time, and all this chaos is going on. I mean, seriously, people got to be human at the end of the day. Give somebody some grace and mercy. Pray for them, because I'm not here for the lawlessness. I believe, and you do the crime, you do the time. You knew what you were doing. You knew what you did was wrong. And y'all, they want to get away with stuff and make up stuff on him. Like the Steele dossier. That was a bunch of mess. That was poop. Okay, that stinky stuff. That was real bad, stinky stuff. Just making up stuff. I mean, I can't believe these people. They are a hot mess. But you guys, I don't want to keep you so long. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment, and share my videos all over the place. Also, I'm on X and TikTok and Instagram as Chat with Me, Linda B. Don't forget now, Tuesday, December 17th. That is the 17th, right? That's the Tuesday. Yes, that's Tuesday, December 17th. I will be premiering the Linda B Show. Tuesday, December 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Linda B Show. I want you guys to check me out, and I will have a panel. It's not going to be just me. It's going to be a panel of us, men and women. That's the goal. That's the goal. And we're going to be discussing different things, and we'll probably disagree with each other. We're going to share some clips and respond to it and be really, really nice. And we may just mix it up a little bit, and that's the Linda B Show, Tuesday, December 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please check me out here on YouTube. You guys, I like to tell the truth. I really like to tell the truth. You know what you did last summer? What? Oh my goodness. But do check me out on the Linda B Show. I've got my intro and the music and everything. And I thank you guys so much, Patriots. We got to continue to pray, because the evil powers that be, I don't think they're sleeping or doing it. They're still trying to conjure up something, as far as I know. We don't know. But God never sleeps nor slumbers, even when we do. So we just got to remember, and we have to trust that. Well, you guys, thank you so much. You all be blessed. Love God, your families, these United States of America, and march on.